Good evening and welcome to your City Commission meeting. Please silence or turn off all cell phones during the meeting. Just a reminder that meetings will and are televised every day on Channel 2 at 6 p.m. and midnight and available for viewing on YouTube. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with a pledge of allegiance followed by silent meditation. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's start with some proclamation. Proclamation, yay!
Susan B. Anthony Day.
All right, tonight we have a proclamation for Susan B. Anthony Day in Leavenworth. Whereas during the year of 2025, the Leavenworth County Historical Society recognized the achievements and contributions made in Leavenworth for the women's suffrage movement that promoted social and political change. And whereas Susan B. Anthony, women's rights activist and sister of Colonel Daniel R. Anthony, first visited Leavenworth in January 1865, advocating the rights of both freed slaves and women, and was a resident in Leavenworth when President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Her brother owned the Leavenworth Times. And whereas Leavenworth was the largest city in Kansas in 1867 when it became the first state in the Union to offer a popular referendum on women's suffrage. Susan B. Anthony campaigned here, along with the national women's suffrage activists such as Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and whereas Susan B. Anthony successfully led the campaign for women's municipal suffrage in Kansas in 1887, the first state to do so. The bill was signed by Governor John A. Martin on February 15th. She returned to Leavenworth in 1894 for the second state campaign along with other suffrage and state leaders, Reverend Anna H. Shaw, Carrie Cat Chapman, Anna Diggs, and Laura Jones. And whereas the nephew of Miss Anthony, Daniel R. Anthony Jr., voted for the 19th Amendment as a Kansas congressman and in 1923 introduced the Equal Rights Amendment in Congress. Now, therefore, I, Holly Pittman, Mayor of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim February 15th as Susan B. Anthony Day in Leavenworth. Yay!
And we have former Mayor Lisa Weekly.
That's right. Former mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pittman. Thank you for presenting this proclamation. I'm here tonight representing the Leavenworth County Historical Society. And as you can see, Leavenworth has a very strong history in the women's suffrage movement, as the proclamation tells. Recently, I got the opportunity to attend the unveiling of the suffrage memorial at Capitol Day, and Leavenworth is depicted in that mural. The Anthony House on Esplanade is in that mural, along with the sister-in-law of Susan B. Anthony, which would be Anna Osborne Anthony. So if you get a chance to visit the Capitol, please be proud of your part of the heritage in that wonderful piece. I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite you to our Celebrating Women event that we're going to have on April 11th at the Community Center from 6 to 9. There we're going to take a focus on women's suffrage, and the artist for the mural that's at the Capitol will be our featured speaker, and our MC will also be Mayor Pittman. And we hope that all of you can attend that. Bring your significant others, and especially your daughters if you have them. Thank you.
Sorry, let's get our photo for the Facebook.
Okay.
Oh, we did do that. We did it professional. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Okay, now old business. We'll consider the minutes from the January 28, 25 regular meeting. I'll just take a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion's been made. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Hingela.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. All right. New business. Do we have any public comment?
We do not.
No public comment, okay. Well, let's go on to the public hearing. We'll do a public hearing for the waiver of distance requirement for the temporary liquor license for St. Joseph Church and Immaculate Conception Church. So we need to open a public hearing.
Madam Mayor,
First? No?
yes, I move to open the public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor say, well, start voting with Commissioner Griff.
Aye.
Aye.
Martin, sorry. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Now we are in the public hearing.
Correct. So, Madam Mayor and Commissioners, before you this evening for consideration is a request to waive the distance requirement to allow Immaculate Conception Church and St. Joseph Church to apply for temporary liquor permits for their St. Patrick's Day corned beef and cabbage dinner and the annual German Fest dinner and dance. City code allows for the City Commission to waive the 300-foot distance requirement in order for the church to apply for the temporary permits. Letters were sent to all property owners within 300 feet of both church locations, notifying of the public hearing this evening. So tonight, the request before you is to grant the distance requirement waiver for the church's events on March 9th and October 4th. And if you have any questions about the event itself, Mr. and Mrs. John and Teresa Williams are here and can answer any questions for you.
I feel like we do this every year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
If he wants to make an announcement,
you want to say anything? Floor is yours.
might as well make an
Yeah,
announcement.
you might as well tell us all about it. And you didn't, I see you didn't bring any samples of corned beef.
I wish I did.
Or green beer.
I wish you did too.
Or green beer.
Green beer.
And we will get to that. John Williams, 30525 172nd Street. Madam Mayor and distinguished commissioners, this year's Immaculate Conception corned beef and cabbage dinner or stew, both with our popular Irish soda, bread, and desserts, or hot dogs and chips for the kids, is on Sunday, March 9th from 11:30 to 2 in the church basement. We are also asking for the liquor license waiver for the German Fest dinner and dance, which will be at St. Joseph's Church grounds on Saturday, October 4th from 5 to 7-ish. Today, in our short history portion of the presentation, which has been asked for by the city commissioners in the past, we will look at why we serve alcohol at our functions. We ask for the waiver to serve green beer, whether green or not, and Irish coffee at the St. Patrick's Day Festival. At the German Fest, like the traditional European countries, different beers are served to the function attendees. We try to offer several different varieties. We do not make a significant amount of proceeds by the sale of alcohol at our festivals. We have it available for consumption with the meal to add to the social gathering and community function. Father Glenn Snow highlights the fact that our festivities are primarily for the social fellowship as we gather together. We would like to take this opportunity to invite the community of Leavenworth to our fellowship and celebrate either or both of these ancestral heritage functions. So again, in closing, thanks for hopefully granting our waiver for the 24th annual St. Patrick's Day dinner and our annual German Fest. Any other questions of us?
Yep, looking forward to it.
No, yep, looking forward to it.
Good. We'll see you all then.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Does anybody else have any public comment? All right, at this time, go ahead and close. I can go ahead and get a motion to close
To close the
public
hearing.
hearing.
Second?
All right, we'll begin voting with Commissioner Hingela.
Aye.
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 All right, hearing's closed. Now we need a motion to consider the waiver.
I move that we approve the request to waive the 300-foot requirement from any church, school, nursing home, library, or hospital for the two events that were outlined by Mr. Williams, the German Fest and as well as the corned beef and I imagine Irish stew
St. Patrick's
The good stuff.
The St. Patrick's Day event.
Second.
All right. All right, we'll begin voting with Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. All right, general items, mayor appointments. We have a mayor appointment. I make a mayor appointment to move to appoint to the Convention and Tourism Committee Jen Anders to an unexpired term ending January 31st, 2027. It does require a second, and then we need to take a vote.
Second.
Okay. All right, begin voting with Commissioner Hengler.
Aye.
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 All right, motion passes. All right, review draft of the 2024 KDG annual report for stormwater.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. The item this evening is to review the draft of the annual KDHE report for 2024 stormwater activities and to seek comments from the Commission and the public prior to submitting the report at the end of February. The City of Leavenworth is regulated by the Kansas Department of Health and Environment and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency as a Phase 2 stormwater city for stormwater purposes. The city has been required to submit an annual report on stormwater activities every year since 2003. The report summarizes the actions the city has taken the previous year to protect and enhance stormwater quality. The guidelines for the activities to be reported on were set by the revised stormwater management plan that was adopted by the City Commission in 2020. These guidelines have been used since 2021. Interaction with both KDHE and EPA suggests that the report be reviewed in a public forum rather than simply submitted by staff. The attached documents are a draft of the key portions of the annual report. There will be additional supporting information in the appendices when the report is submitted. Staff is requesting comments and suggestions from the Commission and the public on the report. The draft report is on the city's website under Public Works. The previous KDHE stormwater permit was actually enforced from November 2019 through October 2024. However, the city was notified last year that KDHE was updating their permit process to stagger when permits expired. The city received a new permit in July of 2024 that was effective August 1, and it will expire December 31st of 2027. Key narratives in the report are there's an executive summary, and then we discuss our 6 minimum control measures. That's public education and outreach, public involvement and participation, illicit discharge detection and elimination, construction site stormwater runoff and control, post-construction stormwater management, and pollution prevention and good housekeeping. Basically, the 6 minimum control measures, we have to have a number of points to show that we did work during the year. Public participation involvements, whether we have a spring cleanup, the household hazardous waste, those types of things included in that. Illicit discharge detection is when somebody, it's an accidental spill, whether we see it in the waterway or on the streets. Post-construction stormwater management, in the parking lot across the street, you'll actually see some, we call them beehives. They're for stormwater, that's where there's a raised area that the water will go in, slow down, and actually filter out the sediments. Pollution prevention and good housekeeping deals just with our operations within the city. And so each one of those, we have to obtain a certain number of points each year, and we've done that again in 2024. This information is presented in draft form, and we are looking for comments. And we have 2 weeks, and so we would encourage the commission to, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the next 2 weeks if you need more information. We also would encourage the public to reach out to us. On February 25th, we'll be bringing back to the commission that final report with any comments that we receive, and this is required to be submitted to KDHE by the 20th of February. So, be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner, any questions?
I just have one now, and I of course haven't read all this yet, so I will read through it, but are we seeing a lot more leaves now that we're not picking up leaves anymore in the storm sewers? Any problems with that?
Actually, we do have a number of people that we either mow them out into the curb line or blow them out into the curb line. If we can get our sweeper down there, that's great, but otherwise, if we get a rain event, it'll actually wash into the storm sewer system.
Okay,
We do have a lot of people that bag their leaves, so we'll have 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 bags in a yard, which we will collect.
yeah. We mulch ours, we don't bag them. But anyway, yeah, I just was curious if there was any issues with the storm sewers with additional leaves from when we used to pick them up.
We actually have a pretty aggressive inlet cleaning program. We have 2 guys on a stormwater crew. But we actually do see that causes a lot of the backups. And you see the leaves packed in there. So,
Right. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No. All right, thank you. All right, moving on, bids, contracts, and agreements. Consider award of bid for stormwater orange fence project number 5, 9th and Osage.
Back in 2021, the city was notified of a crossroad culvert collapse on Osage. Let's see if I have a picture of that. These pictures should have been included in your
Right here.
packet.
In the packet.
But that's the alley just south of 9th and Osage. We ended up closing that alley down, just obviously it was unsafe. The wall on the culvert on Osage is collapsed on the north side. Flow through there is from the north to the south. If you go out to the side, you'll actually see erosion on the west side, just south of the culvert, where it's starting to eat into that property. In 2021, the city did hire Napier Engineering to design the project. The plans were basically done in the end of 21 and 22. We just waited for funding opportunities to do the project. The plans were prepared and the project was advertised for bid. And bids were open on February 5th of this year. Bids were received from 4 companies, with Leavenworth Construction being the low bid. You have a bid table before you. Actually, all the bids were very close. The city commission generally awards a contract to the lowest bidder if the bid is less than the engineer's estimate, and whose evaluation by the city indicates that the award will be in the best interest of the city. Leavenworth has completed numerous stormwater projects and street projects in the past, and prior work was completed within the required time frame and specifications. The cost for construction is $290,380. Funding is available in the Stormwater Capital Fund. Inspection will be by city staff. Work is expected to begin in March and has 90 calendar days to complete. Staff does recommend the city commission authorize the mayor to sign a construction services contract with Leavenworth Construction for the Stormwater Orange Fence Project number 5 at 9th and Osage, including the alley, in the amount of $290,380. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commission, do you have any questions?
What was the engineer's bid?
$336,000.
Thank you.
No questions.
All right, if there's no further questions, we'll entertain a motion.
I move that the city commission authorize the mayor to sign a construction services contract with Leavenworth Construction Company for the Stormwater Orange Fence Project number 5 at 9th and Osage, including the alley, in the amount of $290,000 and $290,380.
Second.
All right, we'll begin voting with Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
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 All right. Next up is consider award of bid for construction observation services for 4th Street, the recent popular project.
In April of 2023, the city submitted a City Connecting Link Improvement Program surface preservation application to KDOT for mill and overlay on 4th Street. This is near Town and Ablesfield. This project consists of like mill and overlay, localized full depth base repairs, spot curb, and sidewalk replacement along with needed AD upgrades. The construction contract was awarded to J.M. Fahey on January 4th of 2025. The city generally uses a design firm for the construction observation services if that firm employs qualified inspectors. Since KDOT is funding a portion of the project, it is required that a KDOT certified inspector be used, and we do not have any KDOT certified inspectors on staff. JEO did the design and has staff available with the proper certifications. City staff work with JEO on a detailed project scope of services and fee for the work. A construction observation is a non-participating item in this project. As such, the city will be responsible for the entire cost. The fee is a not-to-exceed amount of $72,565, or roughly 16% of the construction cost. Typically, we see inspection services on KDOT projects range between 15 and 18%, so they're right where they need to be. And funding is available in the grant matching capital projects fund. So staff recommends the city commission authorize the mayor to sign a construction observation services contract with JEO Consulting Group for the improvements on K7 and 4th Street from Reese to Poplar in the amount of $72,565. Be happy to answer any questions.
Is it hard to become a KDOT certified inspector?
Just some coursework you have to do and maintain that. We've actually talked about it in-house
Yeah,
to do that. So.
I mean, because
That's good.
someone wanted to do, it could save us quite a bit of money.
Example, on 4th Street, the one we just completed, staff inspected that because the city wasn't using KDOT funding.
Right.
But the consultant price, if they inspected it, was a little over $250,000. And staff inspected it ourselves. So
Okay.
there definitely would be some cost savings there in the future if we
Right,
could do
for
that.
sure. Commissioners, any questions?
No.
All right,
No.
now I'll take a motion.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the recommendation that the city commission authorize the mayor to sign a construction observation services contract with JEO Consulting Group for the improvements to the K7 through 4th Street from Reese Street to Popular Street in the amount of $72,565.
Second.
All right, we begin voting with Commissioner Hengler.
Aye.
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 All right, thank you, motion passes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Staff reports, special event street closure policy discussion, part 2.
Thank you, Mayor. So we went back after our last study session and got your feedback on the issue that what we viewed was the primary issue, which was the notification requirement. We think we have come to a happy compromise, although we want to make sure you are on board with it. We are still going to require signature of acknowledgement by all businesses that are impacted. So the form no longer says yes or no, just you sign if you received it. If a person refuses to sign it, they can just note, business refused to sign, whatever. And then as for the residential requirement, they will be required to provide a letter to all residences in the area, in the impacted area. They do not need to hand it to them in person. They can either slip it under the door, mail it, however they want to do it. They just need to provide a sample letter to show that they properly notified everybody, as well as a list of the residences that they sent it to. Part of the reason for that is we will use that to notify that an event has been approved. So we will use that list. But we think that covers some of the concerns you all had with requiring them to speak face-to-face with every single resident in the area, but still finding a way to notify them properly. Those are really the only changes we made to this since the study session.
I think that sounds reasonable. I like that idea better than having each resident sign.
One of the things in the policy report talks about the letter can simply be placed in mailboxes, indoors, et cetera, and does not require signature. Can't put them in the mailboxes.
Can't put them in the mailbox, no.
Post office regulations, they'll come after us.
Okay, yeah, well, we will,
We need to make that clear to whoever sponsors one.
Post them in
They
the,
can probably tape it to the door, I mean,
tape
that's.
it to the
Yeah,
door,
something like
put it
that's
in the
Slide it
fine.
under the door if it fits.
Don't
They
have
just-
mailboxes.
It's not in the policy itself, but.
Yeah, I noticed.
yeah, can't do that.
did you?
I'm just want to throw this out to the commission. So it costs $25 to close a street, and then how much does it cost to rent? Haymarket?
More than that.
More than that. So a lot of people have come into me and saying, hey, it's cheaper for me to close a street than it is just to go rent out Haymarket. And it kind of brings up maybe something we want to discuss. Is that fair? I mean, I guess as long
If
as
we
they're
want
putting
them
in
to
the work.
use
they'll be able-
Haymarket,
What?
if we want them to use Haymarket, then.
Well, I just want to throw
Yeah,
that out
look
there
at-
because I can
look at
see,
that.
for $25, it is a better deal to close
Yeah.
the whole street. But they do have to put in legwork where they don't have to do that at Haymarket.
That's true. And I read Ms. Wade's, what's it called, her letter, particularly as it applied to what I said.
I didn't get Ms. Reed's letter.
Oh,
It was in the
That's in the
packet. last-
packet.
It was what?
It's,
yeah, it's in
Oh,
the
in the
packet.
packet.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's in here.
But,
Oh, yeah, in fact, I think it's on the back, right here.
you know, she was talking in that letter.
Wade's.
Wait,
Yeah,
not Reed.
Ms. Wade.
Yeah, I got that
Kathleen
letter,
Reed.
okay.
Yeah, you know, I agree with her that, you know, everybody that's gonna walk through the streets, they're gonna have a better opportunity to see the
Yes.
businesses. But Haymarket Square, I think, was built for this kind of thing, and if a business wants to participate, yeah, it's gonna take more work for them. They have to go to Haymarket Square, and they have to bring their goods and bring their way of displaying it. But I think Haymarket Square is still usable.
For sure.
And I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, what's the question exactly?
Well, I just want to make sure that it's been brought to my attention that for $25, you can close the whole street. Or what's the minimum of,
So we charge we just raised the fees, so I believe it's for residents 50 per session. We do charge for electricity, and then we do charge a deposit, whether you have alcohol or not. So that deposit changes, it's either 50 or 150 if you have alcohol. It is refundable, so minimum you're looking.
so people are closing streets because it's cheaper.
we used to charge electricity. Are we charging electricity for if they're using it off the pole outside?
Yeah.
See, we always had to pay it whenever we did a festival downtown, we always had to pay it.
I just want to be clear, I'm okay with closing streets, but I just don't want, because it's cheaper,
Yeah.
$25, people continually closing streets, and then every weekend our streets are closed, and then we have a whole nother problem. But I'm definitely for it, I just want to throw that out there that, I don't want people to be,
Yeah, we had
Discover
to
this is a
charge, we had
cheaper
to pay
option.
$25 a pole, and that was years ago, so. And then, because because sometimes you'd have a problem with it, you'd have an electrician come in and do all of that stuff, we had to pay. We didn't have to pay for the electrician, but we had to pay that to help cover that cost.
Sir, do we know how many times Haymarket Square was paid for last year?
So our biggest renter is the farmer's market. They rent every Wednesday and Saturday from May to the end of October. Most of them are events that are kind of tied to like Main Street rents, probably 8 times. So
Once a month.
yeah, yeah, I would say probably 20 times, not counting the farmer's market. 'Cause
Yeah, and then they have
that's a
the
lot of
evening
dates.
events.
And we had like 5 or 6 street closures last year, is that what it was?
We had at least 3.
Yeah.
So we had the.
I wonder if we want
spring
to put a limit
cleanout.
on the number of street closures we have.
I would say at least 3,
We
potentially
don't want them to do it every
4.
week.
Okay, so not a lot then.
Yeah.
So it might be a moot point,
well, I'm just saying, I just don't want people to go, oh, let's close the street instead of using Haymarket because it's cheaper. Because, I don't know if we want, if I was a downtown business owner, I don't know if I'd want the streets closed every weekend.
No.
Yeah, but I don't think this new policy is gonna really increase the rate that we're closing streets, right? If it did, I mean, we could talk about it. I don't think we know.
I think so.
Okay, I just want, that was brought to
I
my
mean,
attention.
every time they
so-
have an event and close the street, they're still gonna have to come to the commission anyway, so.
Right.
And I think if we run into some of the additional concerns, we can obviously bring that up to you guys to tweak a policy if we feel like a deposit's required. Just throwing
Right, or
something
you
out
feel
there,
like
like if we feel like.
It's becoming every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
as we monitor that as it's happening, if we feel like there's something to bring back to you guys for further discussion, we would absolutely do that.
Well, do we need to include in the policy, once a month is the maximum that will do it, or?
I wouldn't do that.
I say address it as it comes,
Okay. That's fair. I just wanted to throw that out for us to think about. Okay.
I'm reading through the actual policy, the applicant's responsibilities to send out a letter to residents. I would think it might be good for us to present a standard letter format.
We have that.
And they fill in the blanks.
Yes, we have that template that we're gonna give them.
Thank you.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
I don't think it's in here.
Yeah, it's
It
not.
should be after the sign-in.
Yeah, I saw it.
The sign,
Oh, is it?
acknowledgement page, yeah, it would be
I
on the
must have
back.
missed it. I saw Kathleen's letter.
It's right here, it says
Oh.
template.
Very
Yeah,
good.
okay, there it
Thank
is.
you. City's responsibilities if request is approved. The last item is appropriate city staff will take down and remove barricades.
That needs to be deleted. That was from a previous draft, so
Okay,
yes.
because I noticed, the third bullet under applicants' responsibilities for
I
them
have
to do it.
I crossed it out here while I
Yeah.
was sitting here, so, yes, that's a city manager's error there.
So they're gonna pick up the barricades, put them up themselves, and then,
The city will drop off the barricades at a designated location, and then they will be responsible for setting them up, taking them down, returning them to the designated location, and the city will pick them up.
because I know the barricades was an issue too, because people just,
Unfortunately, we can't do
Yeah, we
much
can't
about
monitor
that.
that.
We would recommend that they
they get
keep
security or something.
volunteers at the barricades. At the same time, we don't want the volunteers getting hit either.
Right,
So,
absolutely.
it's,
Just one quick question, sorry. Do we have do we keep any records of like how an event went? If we had somebody that wanted to close the streets and they didn't abide by everything we put forth, to kind of keep record of that when they
I don't
come
think
back?
we have any official documentation of that. I'm sure Chief Kitchens has a mental memory of ones that did and did not go well, but to my knowledge, we don't have any written reports.
Okay, no, that's fine. Thanks. Cool.
Okay,
Other than that, I think the policy is good.
yeah.
Thank you.
We're not
Yeah.
voting, it's just an
I know.
update.
Yeah, we'll bring it back to you for first consideration with the amended.
Sure. There's a couple of typos, but I'll get with the,
And for those downtown businesses watching, I mean, if you still have any feedback, send us a message, email to the commissioners.
I would also just point out, if going back to the Haymarket Square thing, I would ask all of you to reconsider too, if you think that Haymarket Square is not being used enough, are we charging too much for Haymarket Square and are we not charging enough to close the streets down? So I mean, I think that would be a separate conversation that you may want to consider going into budget season. If we're trying to encourage more Haymarket Square use, then perhaps we need to reassess those fees.
I'd like to get a list, I guess, of all the times it's been used, like in the
Put it
last
together,
year.
Absolutely.
That would be helpful.
We will do that.
I think they both serve their different purposes. I just want to make sure that they're serving those purposes, right?
Yep.
for the commission's consideration, the very top line, street closure request application must be turned in no less than 8 weeks prior to the requested street closure date. What's the very latest, what's the very fastest you could get through the process and get them approved? Does it take 8 weeks?
Usually.
Okay, so do we,
Because it depends on when they put it in, when we have meetings, so 8 weeks gives us enough time to schedule them to come before the commission.
okay,
They would
so,
already have the application, the signatures, the mailer already completed, and they would be turning it that into us. So we would work with them in tandem of getting it scheduled for a commission meeting, allow staff time, once potentially approved by this body, to get out letters with plenty of notice. So that timeframe staff felt was appropriate.
It may be shorter for people that have done it before, but for first-time requests, it takes a little longer to show them the ropes of what needs to be done.
Well,
I was-
I think 8 weeks is reasonable. Like I said before, with St. Patrick's Day, we
Yep.
put in January 1st in order to get our spot and get everything ready
Yep.
by by March 17th.
yeah, you know the old
Shouldn't
saying,
have
proper
months.
planning.
Yeah, yeah.
So should we change applications submitted after that may not be considered to will not be considered?
I think it's fine like it is. I wouldn't.
I think you
Wouldn't
should
say
always
never.
leave room
Never say never.
for you as a city commission to create exceptions if you deem it necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm cool with that.
All right, any other feedback?
No.
Thank you. All right, consent agenda.
All right, Madam Mayor, I move to approve the claims for January 24th, 2025 to February 6th, 2025, in the amount of $1,923,456.57. Net amount for payroll number 2, effective January 24th, 2025, in the amount of $438,154.12, includes police and fire pension in the amount of $7,753.58.
Second.
All right. We'll begin voting with Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
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 All right. All right, Scott, do you have anything for us?
I don't think I have anything other than our crews are getting ready for the snow that's coming this way. As of now, just so you're all aware, we are planning on having City Hall open. We don't see at this time a need to limit service, so.
This one will be easy after the last one, right?
No, thank you for jinxing it, Mayor, but yes,
never easy.
that's certainly our hope, and we are,
You know that Fort Leavenworth is closed tomorrow?
it
The
is,
whole fort?
yes.
Yeah.
The schools have already, I know Lansing School's closed, I don't know if Leavenworth
Leavenworth
School's
closed,
closed, so. A lot, and also Wright LV is gonna be a late start, so,
Okay.
we got that posted out, but, as of now, City Hall and all of our services will be open.
Good.
That's all I have.
All right.
Cool.
Commissioner Martin?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
I would like to, at some point, have an update from LV Ride. We asked him to gather information for us before, and
You take a note? All right, thank you.
thank you, Penny.
Commissioner Ewan?
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's right. Happy birthday.
It's coming right up. It may snow like crazy just before that, but happy Valentine's to everybody.
Well, I hope everybody's recovered from the Chiefs' loss. That was tough.
I'm not.
But
I'm not.
Right.
I'm not recovered yet.
that was tough, wasn't it?
Totally
It
sucked.
was tough.
Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose.
Oh, I guess, but everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Just need a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
All right,
Second.
we're done.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Bye.